Everyone thought it was just another high school dance, but when 16-year-old Emily Carter didn't come home that night, the entire town froze. And when her last note was found, it revealed something that shocked everyone. Before we begin, like this video, comment where you're watching from, and subscribe so you never miss a powerful story filled with suspense, shocking twists, and unforgettable lessons. The gymnasium of Willow Creek High smelled of popcorn, perfume, and cheap punch. Colorful balloons lined the bleachers, a disco ball spun lazily overhead, and music pulsed through the air. Emily Carter stood alone near the edge of the room, clutching a paper cup in her hand. Her thrift store blue dress clung awkwardly to her shoulders, her shoes a little too tight. She smiled nervously, but no one smiled back. Two girls in glittery gowns whispered, laughing as they glanced at her. "Nice dress," one of them muttered sarcastically. Emily pretended not to hear. On the dance floor, the popular kids twirled under the lights. Teachers stood by the doors, pretending to supervise, but more interested in their phones. Emily glanced at the clock. Nearly midnight. She tightened her necklace, a simple silver chain her mom had given her, without realizing this would be the last time anyone saw her at school. When the music cut out and the lights flickered, students groaned. "Oh, not now," a teacher announced. "Breaker tripped. Everyone head home." The night ended. Everyone left. Everyone except Emily. Morning sunlight streamed into the Carter home. Emily's mother knocked on her bedroom door. "Emily, breakfast is ready." Silence. She opened the door. The bed was unmade, the blanket kicked to the side. No sign of her daughter. By noon, panic had set in. Emily's father drove to the school, searching the parking lot, the woods behind the field, even the diner where she sometimes sat with her books. Nothing. When the police arrived, their words felt like a slap. "She's probably run away." "Happens with teenagers," Emily's mother shouted through tears. "She's not that kind of girl." "My daughter wouldn't just vanish," but their pleas went unheard. 2 days later, the janitor was sweeping under the bleachers in the gym. His broom caught on something taped to the underside of a table. Curious, he bent down and pulled it free. A folded sheet of paper. He squinted at the handwriting. Emily's handwriting. It read, "If I don't make it home tonight, ask who turned off the lights." The janitor froze. His hands trembled. He carried it to the principal's office immediately. Within hours, whispers spread like wildfire through Willow Creek. The blackout. Everyone remembered the moment the lights went out. Could it have been planned? Weeks passed with no answers. Hope was fading. Then, in the quiet town library, Mrs. Dawson, the elderly librarian, noticed something strange. A book recently returned had Emily's neat handwriting in the margins. It wasn't just doodles. It was another message. "They watch from the shadows. But secrets don't stay buried forever." Mrs. Dawson gasped and nearly dropped the book. She rushed to the police, but by now, the town no longer trusted the authorities. So she went straight to Emily's parents. Emily's mother clutched the book, tears streaming down her face. "Who returned this?" she whispered. The librarian hesitated. "I checked the cameras. It wasn't Emily." She pulled up the grainy footage. It showed Mr. Wallace, the assistant principal, sliding the book into the return slot. The revelation shattered the town. How could a trusted figure, a man who lectured about discipline and safety, be tied to Emily's disappearance? When police confronted him, his mask of authority cracked. His arrogance turned to panic. At first, he denied everything. Then, under pressure, his story shifted. He claimed Emily had misunderstood, that she was causing trouble. But the notes told a different story. Emily had been silenced because she had discovered something she wasn't supposed to. Justice seemed near. The town rallied behind Emily's parents. People whispered that she had given them courage, even in absence. As Mr. Wallace was taken into custody, Emily's mother returned home to find a small padded envelope on the porch. No return address. Hands shaking, she opened it. Inside lay Emily's silver necklace and a folded piece of paper. It wasn't old, it wasn't faded, it was fresh. On it, scrawled in Emily's familiar handwriting, were 4 words: "I'm still out here." Her mother collapsed into tears. Her father's fists clenched. If Emily had written this after her disappearance, then everything they thought they knew was only the beginning. The camera zooms in on the note. The music cuts. Everyone thought the case was closed when Mr. Wallace, the school's assistant principal, was arrested. But the discovery of Emily Carter's necklace and a fresh note in her handwriting proved the nightmare was far from over. What really happened to Emily? And who left that package at her parents' door? The truth would shatter the town all over again. The Carter living room was silent, except for the sound of Emily's mother sobbing. She held the silver necklace in her trembling hands. The note lay open on the table. "I'm still out here." Her father paced the floor, fists clenched. "This doesn't make sense," he muttered. "She's alive." "She has to be." The police officer assigned to the case studied the handwriting, shaking his head. "It could be a copycat," he said. "Someone trying to play with your emotions." Emily's mother snapped through her tears. "That's my daughter's writing. I'd know it anywhere." The room grew heavier by the second. News of the package spread quickly. At the diner, whispers buzzed through every booth. "If Emily's alive, then Wallace isn't the only one involved," a man said over his coffee. "Or maybe Wallace isn't guilty at all," another replied. At school, students avoided the hallways where Emily used to walk. One girl whispered, "I saw her at the gas station. I swear it was her." Her friend rolled her eyes. "That's impossible. She's gone." But uncertainty had taken root. Every flicker of movement in the shadows made people wonder, was Emily watching them? Emily's father demanded answers. He visited Mr. Wallace in jail. Wallace smirked behind the glass. "You think I took her?" he said, his voice low. "I didn't. I just knew too much." "What are you talking about?" the father asked. Wallace leaned forward. "Emily found something. Something buried deep in the school records. She wasn't supposed to. That's why she's gone. And if you got a note from her, it means someone else has her." The father's blood ran cold. "Who?" he demanded. Wallace only smiled. "Ask who cut the power that night. It wasn't me." That evening, the Carters received a call from Mrs. Dawson, the librarian. Her voice shook. "I didn't tell you everything," she admitted. "That book Emily wrote in, it wasn't the only one. I found another, weeks ago. I didn't know what it meant, so I kept it." The Carters rushed to her home. She handed them a battered notebook. Inside, Emily had written cryptic lines. The lights went out, but not by accident. He wasn't alone. Someone higher is watching. Emily hadn't just left clues. She had been documenting something dangerous. Just as the family tried to piece it together, a knock sounded at their door. It was Marvin, the school janitor who had found the first note. His face was pale, his hands shaking. "There's something you need to know," he whispered. "That night, when the lights went out, I saw someone near the breaker room. It wasn't Wallace, it was a man in a black coat. I didn't speak up because he saw me too." The Carters exchanged terrified looks. If Wallace wasn't the mastermind, then someone else far more dangerous was pulling the strings. 3 nights later, another package arrived at the Carter doorstep. This time, no necklace, no note. Inside was a USB drive. Emily's father plugged it into his laptop, ignoring the officer's protests. The screen flickered. A video began to play. Emily appeared on the screen, alive, frightened, sitting in a dimly lit room. Her eyes darted to the camera. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Mom, Dad, I don't have much time. They don't want me to talk. But listen, it wasn't Wallace. He was just the distraction, the real one." Suddenly, the screen cut to static. The parents screamed at the laptop, replaying the clip over and over. But the video ended the same way each time, abruptly. The camera zooms in on the frozen image of Emily's face on the screen. Her eyes were filled with fear, and behind her, for just 1 second, a shadow moved across the wall. A tall figure, watching her. Emily's voice echoed in the silence. "The real one is closer than you think." Emily Carter's silver necklace was found in a package. A note in her handwriting said, "I'm still out here." And then a video surfaced. Emily alive, whispering warnings before the screen cut to static. Now the town of Willow Creek stood on edge. Who had taken her? Who was truly behind the blackout at the school dance? The shocking truth would change everything. The Carter family replayed the grainy video over and over. Emily's frightened eyes darted around the screen. Then her father noticed something no one else had. "Stop! Rewind! Right there!" he shouted. Behind Emily, for just 1 second, a wall was visible, stained, cracked, but with a faded school crest painted across it. Emily's mother gasped. "That's the old gym basement. They shut it down. Years ago, Emily wasn't far away. She was still in Willow Creek." The police hesitated. "It's too dangerous," one officer warned. "If she's down there, it could be a trap." Emily's father slammed his fist on the table. "Every minute we wait, she suffers. I'm not leaving my daughter in the dark." Marvin, the janitor, stepped forward nervously. "I know another way in. An old maintenance tunnel. No one else uses it." Mrs. Dawson, the librarian, insisted on coming too. "You'll need someone who isn't afraid to look at the details." By midnight, they stood at the rusted gate of the abandoned gym. The moon cast eerie shadows across broken windows and peeling paint. The air inside was heavy with dust and mildew. Broken lockers lined the hallways. Doors creaked in the silence. The group crept forward, flashlights slicing through the darkness. Then, a sound, a muffled cry. Emily's mother dropped to her knees. "Emily!" From behind a locked storage room door came a faint, trembling voice. "Mum, help me." Her father's hands shook as he jammed a crowbar into the lock. With a groan of metal, the door burst open. There she was, Emily, frail, terrified, but alive. She stumbled forward and collapsed into her mother's arms. Before relief could settle in, heavy footsteps echoed down the hallway. A tall figure stepped into the flashlight's beam. A long black coat, dark gloves, and a face now unmistakable. Emily's father froze. No, it can't be. It was Chief Daniels, the town's police chief. Emily gasped, clutching her mother. "He's the one. He's been here the whole time," Daniels sneered, his calm authority replaced with cold malice. She dug too deep. Wallace was convenient to blame, but the truth is messy, and if the truth got out, people like me would lose everything. Emily's father stepped in front of his family, fists clenched. "You did this to a child." "To my child," Daniels smirked. "Your daughter wasn't supposed to be at that dance. She wasn't supposed to find the files in the school records. She wasn't supposed to be smarter than the rest of us." He pulled a pistol from under his coat. The group froze. Marvin whispered, "We're trapped." But before Daniels could step closer, a voice rang out from behind him. "Not anymore." Mrs. Dawson stood in the shadows with her phone raised. The call went through. "Backup is already here." Sirens blared outside. Red and blue lights flashed through broken windows. Daniels roared and lunged forward, grabbing Emily's arm. "If I go down, she goes with me," her mother screamed. Marvin swung his flashlight, striking Daniels across the shoulder. The gun clattered to the ground. Emily kicked free and scrambled back into her father's arms. Within seconds, uniformed officers stormed the basement. Daniels fought like a cornered animal, but was dragged away in handcuffs, his face twisted with rage. Emily sat wrapped in a blanket outside as paramedics checked her. Her mother held her hand tightly, refusing to let go. Her father stood watch, every muscle tense, as though afraid she might vanish again. Reporters swarmed the scene. Townspeople gathered in stunned silence. A quiet girl in a blue dress had brought down the most powerful man in Willow Creek.